Okay, now we're recording again, and now I'll share again. So patterns is listed first, but I'm not going to do that now, partly because we have 20 minutes and it's not going to work well in 20 minutes. And partly because it's designed very much as an icebreaker activity to meet your classmates sitting next to each other at tables, and we don't have that here. So we will talk about patterns, but let's do that next week. We'll do something that is more straightforward for our first bit of math and jump right to calories.
So I do have one more question,
Sure.
mostly because I need to leave for work here in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Where can I find the recordings to
I'll
today's
send out links in email afterwards, and they will be in the syllabus.
Okay.
Syllabus page. Then there was meeting archives, and there will be the Jamboard and the Zoom, and if we do YouTube, the YouTube video.
Okay. 'Cause I was curious because I have to leave no later than 3:19 to catch my
Okay.
bus to work.
Yeah, run away if you need to. I understand. It is too bad that the course catalog was broken, but oh well, what can we do? Okay, in the calories topic, we start by doing calories and exercise. And okay, so calories are a measure of energy. When we exercise, we need even more energy than the baseline amount we use just for metabolism. And there's a pattern that shows you how many calories you need when you're exercising. And it turns out to be a very simple pattern, which is nice. So that's why we're starting with this. But it could have been very complicated. It's kind of amazing that somebody's age or weight or height or sex or other factors doesn't work into this. And partly that's because we're not terribly accurate. If my 9-year-old and I go for a run, then that's going to be very different. His body doesn't work like mine in many ways. But if we just sort of focus on adults and don't mind a little bit of fuzziness that we're estimating, then the pattern works pretty well. So here's our first formula of Math 25. The exercise formula says how many calories we burn is the person's weight times the minutes they exercise times the scale factor. And the scale factor you have to look up on a table, and we're going to use these numbers here. And it's important to realize that these numbers are, in a way, complete garbage. Right? Does bicycling really burn 0.045 calories per pound per minute? Well, bicycling along the flat part of Eugene is a lot different than bicycling over the hill at Donald Street by LCC. So no, there's all sorts of numbers for what it might be. For any of these activities, somebody could do them at a relaxed pace or at an intense pace and so on. But we need something for a math class. So we're just going to pretend that these numbers are accurate and know that in real life, it would be more complicated than this. So using the formula isn't too bad. Let's do our first problem. So I'm going to go back here to our Jamboard. Why didn't that paste? Oh, because I have to do my other thing. It's been a while. Okay. Yeah. Do it that way. Okay, so Arthur weighs 150 pounds. He runs for an hour, does half an hour of weightlifting. How many calories does he burn? Oh, by the way, since we're all new here, does it help if I make things shorter here? Does it fit in the window better? Does that look nicer on your screen? Yes, okay, so I will now have that shaped window. So we do want our exercise formula. And we do want to know that, whoops, at least some of these numbers are ones we care about. Oh, okay. Okay, onward. So we're starting with, actually, let me color code things better. Runs for an hour. So he weighs 150 pounds. An hour would be 60 minutes. If I put in 1, I'm going to get a different answer. Since the formula says it wants minutes, I have to do what it says. And then the scale factor for running, I'll go down my list. Here's running. I'm going to use 0.09, pretending that that's accurate. Everything we do in this class, you can do with a calculator. If you happen to have amazing mental math, great, but I am going to not trust that I can concentrate on lecturing and my mental math and just pull up my calculator. And so here we go, 810 calories. If you're working with me, did you get the same answer? Because I sometimes hit my buttons badly. Now we also need half an hour of weightlifting. So he still weighs 150 pounds. What's next in my equation?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. By the way, I like dots for multiply. If you use X's, that's fine too. No one is going to yell at you. And weightlifting, here we go, 0.039. So take out the calculator. 175.5 is not very aerobic with his weightlifting. Then I need a total, right? How many calories does he burn? That was not a good underline. I'm going to round this to 176. So we're at about 986 calories. Why am I rounding? Because all of this is kind of garbagey numbers, right? His running isn't exactly 0.09. His weightlifting is not exactly 0.039. He probably doesn't even weigh exactly 150 pounds. So none of this is accurate enough that I'm going to think I know to a part of a calorie how much energy he's used. If you wanted to round it to 990 or even 1,000, you could probably defend that. But I'm not going to round it more than I did. I'm going to say nearest calorie is kind of how we talk about these things. So good enough. Okay, question on that one? We got 986. Let's see if I did it right. Yay, okay. So your turn. Odette weighs 110 pounds. She bicycles to the gym, plays basketball for 2 hours, and bicycles home. So I'll set things up on the screen and tell me what answers you get. Oh, and it's past 3:19, so run away if you need to.
Bye.
Okay, maybe you did this as a three-part problem. The first bike trip, the basketball, and the second bike trip. But I'm going to put the biking together because it's all just biking. So either style is okay. So she weighs 110 pounds. 10 minutes and 20 more minutes is 30 minutes total. I'm going to make a note to myself that that's the 10 plus the 20, so I know where it came from. And then I need to find the bicycling number down here. Time for the calculator to earn its keep. And I get 148.5. Then we have the basketball. She still weighs 110 pounds. What do I put for my basketball number of time?
Yeah, 120.
Yeah. And again, because I'm lecturing, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to make a note that that's 2 hours, so we know where we got that. And the basketball number we use is 0.063. That looks too far down. I don't want it to look like a decimal point. Oh, okay. So 831.6. And then we're wondering how many total calories she burned. And then getting about 980. Everyone understand the squiggly equals? That means I just rounded in that step. So hopefully your answer was the same. And that's as really hard as these can get. Not much to them. Did we get the same answer as the page? Yay. Okay. So I'm going to make things a little taller again, stop doing the Jamboard, and talk about homework for study skills, because there are some study skills that are important enough. I will talk about them in class time. So in math, there's 6 levels of understanding, and it's perfectly normal to not only have a different level of understanding for all kinds of different math topics. Lots of people are, whatever, great at decimals, terrible at fractions, percents are easy, metric unit is tricky, whatever. But it's also perfectly normal to have no idea what level of understanding you are at a math topic until you try it. Our brains love to trick ourselves. So read through this more, but the gist of it is that your appetizer course is important for homework. So after class, I know you really want to go do something else because it's a sunny Friday afternoon, but spend a few minutes trying to figure out how your homework is. And for this weekend, you don't really have anything to do. We've only done one kind of little problem, but you had a bunch of homework of look at factfulness, look at the website, look at the achievements, get yourself tuned into the course, read through the study skills. So do that, make some estimate of how long that will take. Get started and say, oh, this is going to be a 1-hour project or a 2-hour project or whatever, so you can budget your time. So that's the first thing to make note about homework is no one's expecting you right after class to sit down and finish all of your homework right away. But it's a normal thing to just not know how long homework will take until you get started. Then there's a section about math and memory. One of the class library books we have that isn't on that webpage of books yet is called GRASP, and it's all about how learning works. That's the wrong link. That's statistics. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, so read this, talks about how learning works. And then we put that together, and how do you actually do homework? So first, skim a topic before studying it. So look more at patterns and calories before I see you on Monday. After studying, go back and look at the online notes again. So for the little bit of problem we did with calories and food, calories and exercise, then go do some calories and exercise, just 1 or 2 more. Then invent one problem of your own and see if you can answer it. You can always bring it to class as a warm-up. Say, here's mine. I'd walked this far and then did basketball this long, or whatever your problem is. Then not this weekend, eventually do some homework exercises, and so on like that. So there's a process for homework that works well. The end of the process, I'm going to tell you now, it's not about what you need to do this weekend, but it's a little confusing. So I'm going to show you how it works on this website, just so it's in the back of your brain when it does matter. So as I mentioned, for every topic, we have 10 exercises. We'll eventually get to the 10 exercises for calories. They don't have answers because they're not example problems. How do you know how well you did? So you can do them yourself, you can do them in a group, you can do them in the study session, you can do them with people at home, whatever. Every time there's 10 exercises, there's a link at the top to say, here is a form. You go there. Don't try and do the problems staring at the multiple choice. That's going to not make good habits. But you've already done all these problems. I'm just picking random answers. So you pick your answers, and at the bottom there's a code, and you'll take this code and send it to me in email or text, and then I'll tell you how you did. If you did it in a group, which I encourage, group work works much better than Lone Rangering math. If you did it in a group, tell me who else is in your group so I know to give them credit also. For the achievements, you need to get 80%. So 8 out of the 10 to get the check mark, the green check mark on your star. And if you don't get 80% the first time, you'll just try it again. So if you're wanting to know about turning in homework, that's how it will work. This is going to confuse lots of people. I will explain it several times later on. But now you've seen it if you were curious, because if I was in your shoes, I would be curious. How do I turn in homework in this class? Okay, anything else before I say goodbye and look at the website and maybe even look at Factfulness? I'm going to at least say goodbye to stop the recording then, because maybe people do have questions, they just don't want them recorded.